what's up YouTube? In this video I'm going to be showing you how to make the Pepsi logo. It's going to be very quick, very easy if you want to make it. Here's what you're going to need. You will need black wool, light grey wool, white, red, and finally dark blue wool. Those are the only colours that you're going to be needing. Once you have those and once you've figured out where you want to make it, I'm going to be making it right here. You're going to want to kick this off with a row of 9 black wool in a row on the floor. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like so. Once you have your row of 9 black wool, you then want to come over to the first block on the left. This one right here, the first block that we placed. And from this block, you want to do an up left diagonal. So, like that. You then want to go to the left of this block by 2, so 1, 2. Then do another up left diagonal. Go to the left by 1. Then do another up left diagonal. Go to the left by 1. Then do 6 up left diagonals, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. On top of the 6th up left diagonal, go up by 1. Then do another up left diagonal. And go up by 1. Then do another up left diagonal. And go up by 2. 1, 2. Then do another up left diagonal. And go up by 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. To give you something which should look a little bit, if I can ever zoom out in time, like this. What you're looking at now is pretty much a quarter of the giant circle shape that is the Pepsi logo. What we're essentially going to be doing now is this 3 more times. So pause this if necessary, of course. Once you've reached this point right here, it's time for us to continue on. So coming back up to where we just finished off with this giant row of 9 here, starting from the top, you want to do an upright diagonal. And go up by 2, so 1, 2. Then do another upright diagonal. And go up by 1. Then do another upright diagonal. And go up by 1. Then do 6 upright diagonals, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Going right of the 6th upright diagonal, you want to go to the right by 1. Then do another upright diagonal. Go to the right by 1. Then do another upright diagonal and go to the right by 2, so 1, 2. Then do another upright diagonal and go to the right by 8, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. To give you something which should look a little bit like this. And as you can see, we've pretty much just mirrored what we'd done for the first quarter of this. So pause this if necessary, of course. Once you've reached this point right here, we're not going to continue from where we just left off. We're going to continue from the bottom again, as I much prefer to build upwards rather than downwards, and we're going to have to build the other half of the circle downwards otherwise. So coming back to where we started off, with our row of 9, this time starting from the right hand side, you want to do, from this end block, an upright diagonal. Go to the right by 2, 1, 2. Then do another upright diagonal. Go to the right by 1. Then do another upright diagonal. And go to the right by 1. Then do 6 upright diagonals, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Place 1 on top of the 6th upright diagonal. Then do another upright diagonal. Then go up by 1. Then do another upright diagonal. And go up by 2. 1, 2. Then do another upright diagonal. And go up by 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. To give you something which should look like this. As you can see, identical to the other side. If it isn't, something has went terribly awry. Once you've reached this point right here, pause this if necessary, of course. So continuing on from where we left off, from the top of this giant row of 9 here, going left of this top block, you want to do and up left diagonal. Place 2 on top, 1, 2. Then do another up left diagonal. Place 1 on top. Then do another up left diagonal. Place 1 on top. Then do 6 up left diagonals. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Going left of the 6th up left diagonal, you want to go to the left by 1. Then do another up left diagonal. Go to the left by 1. Then do another up left diagonal and go to the left by 2. Once you've done that, you should notice, if you've done it right, that last row of 3 should connect diagonally to the other side of our outline, which should look a little bit like this, just to show you the little section that we've completed here, and just to show you what you want to have overall, the giant circle that there is. Not really too much to show, but I'll show it you anyway. So this is what you want to have for your Pepsi logo so far, a big, giant, empty circle. Once you've reached this point right here, and as always, pause this if necessary of course, it's time for us to add a little bit of detail. So starting off light, this is what you want to do. Take out your white wool, and what you basically want to do is trace along the inside of your big giant black circle and make a ever so slightly smaller but still giant white circle on the inside of it. So you want to do this. Maybe my descriptive powers aren't strong enough to explain, but this should explain it clearly. This is what you want to do all around the circle, just to show you a quarter. I don't think it requires any further explanation than this. Take out your white wool and do the rest. So, coming around the rest of our circle, going to take us a little while. We do have the 4 quarters. And of course the white wool doesn't want to overlap or anything, it's just a thin layer of white wool. It should just be 1 block thick all the way around. The white wool doesn't overlap or bunch up or anything like that. It is just quite literally tracing along the inside. And once you've finished it, it should look a little bit like this. So what we essentially have now is an ever so slightly smaller white circle inside of our big giant black circle. Very easy. Once you've done that, it's time for us to add a little bit of detail, which is a lot harder to explain. So I'm just going to do it to 1 quarter and then show you guys the end result. Let me do this. So just to show you, there we go. So this is what you want to do with your light grey on the bottom half of your Pepsi logo. It's a little different for the top half. So you want to take out your light grey, and we're going to have to do this on the other side as well, and you want to place light grey in all of those positions right there. So basically next to / on top of the ends of all of the white rows. And again, I can't really explain it, but hopefully you should be able to see easy enough where you've got to place. I'm going to stop talking now. Pause this if necessary. Let me just go ahead and do this to the other side of the bottom. So the top is actually easier to do since you only have to place light grey on the ends of all of the white rather than just stopping arbitrarily halfway up the bottom. So there you go, that's what you want to do with your light grey on the bottom half of your Pepsi logo. Hopefully that's easy enough to see where I've placed all of them. I'm not missing any, so pause this if necessary of course. Place all of that light grey. Once you've done that to the bottom, you want to go ahead and do the exact same thing at the top. So starting at the top here, well, kind of middle way up to the top, starting with this row of 3 here, at the top of the side row of 9, you just want to go ahead and place light grey on the ends of the white wool. You see, it's not really on the ends. That's why I couldn't really explain it. It's kind of difficult to put into words, but easy enough to actually do. So let me just show you this top half here. It's easy enough to see what I've done anyway from this picture, I should think. It's not particularly complicated. So there you go. That's what you want to do with your light grey for the upper half of our Pepsi logo. Very simple indeed. Pause this if necessary, of course. once you've done that, it's time for us to continue on. So now we're going to do the giant wave that exists in the middle of our Pepsi logo. So you'll come over to the middle left-hand side of our logo, where we have this row of 3 here, which is exactly what you want to find. You want to find this row of 3. And on top of this third block, you want to place a single dark blue wool. Going right of that dark blue, you want to do 3 white wool. So 1, 2, 3. You then want to do, continuing going right, a bottom right diagonal. Then go 2 to the right, 1, 2. Do another bottom right diagonal. Go to the right by 2, 1, 2. Do an upright diagonal. Go to the right by 2, 1, 2. Do another upright diagonal. Go to the right by 2, 1, 2. Do another upright diagonal. Go to the right by 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Do another upright diagonal. Go to the right by 2, 1, 2. Do another upright diagonal. Go to the right by 2, 1, 2. Do another upright diagonal. Go to the right by 2, 1, 2. Do a bottom right diagonal. Go to the right by 2, 1, 2. Do another bottom right diagonal. Go to the right by 2, 1, 2. And finish this off by doing a single bottom right diagonal, which is just placing a block right here to give you something which should look a little bit like this. That sounded quite long and difficult, but actually it's really simple. It's just a load of row of 3s with a single row of 5 in the dead center. Very easy. And once you've done that, it makes this next part extremely simple. So pause this if necessary, of course. Once you've done this, it's time for us to continue on. Let's finish this wave. And I just noticed what I should have done. On this left side here, I really should have placed a single white wool on top of this dark blue here. So let's just do that now, shall we? There we go. So to complete this next part, this is what you want to do. On top of every single white wool of the middle wave of our Pepsi logo, so this whole line that we've just made, including this little single white wool, you want to place on top of the white 2 light grey. So you want to do this. 1, 2. And then going right, you just want to do 2 light grey directly on top of every single white that there is in the giant middle wave of our logo. So it should be really easy to see what I've done once I've finished it, if you don't quite understand what I mean. So let's just do this quickly, shall we? As a matter of fact, I can't do it any quicker, so let me just show you what you want to have. If zooming out, there we go. So this is what you want to do. Very simple indeed. You just want to stack 2 light grey directly on top of each white wool. And it should end up looking exactly like what you have on the screen. So pause this if necessary, of course. Once you've done that, we just have the final layer to add on. On top of our 2 light grey, we now want to add 2 white wool. So for every light grey that there is, you just want to add 2 white wool directly on top. So you just want to pretty much do the exact same thing, except this time just using white instead of light grey. So just go all the way across the wave, doing exactly what I'm doing now. So a little over halfway. Just about finished. And we have hit gold. So let's just take a look what that should look like once you have 100% completed it. So there you have it. That is what you want for the middle section of our Pepsi logo. I don't know what better to call it than a wave. I guess it kind of is. I mean, up and down, up and down. Once you've done that, and as always, pause this if necessary, of course, it's time for us to do some mass colouring in of our logo. If you guys know what the Pepsi logo is like, you know what's coming. So for this whole top section that we have up here above the wave, you want to fill this whole top section in with red. And for this whole bottom section, below the wave, you want to fill the bottom section in with dark blue, which is exactly what I'm going to be doing whilst I cut out. So I will be back in a moment once I have completely coloured in our logo. It's going to take a couple of minutes. Alright guys, so once I coloured in the logo, I noticed that I made an ever so slight error in the top left hand corner of the logo. I forgot to place a single light grey next to this white wall right here. I would usually just redo the video, cut it out and start from there. However, it's such a slight error and it doesn't really affect anything that I thought I'd just show it on video here. Even I make a lot of mistakes. So if you guys made the same mistake, I'm guessing you didn't, you guys are a lot smarter than I am, knock out this red block right here and just replace it with a light grey wall. My best guess would be that you guys just placed a light grey there anyway, as I did on the other side. However, let me just show you what the logo wants to look like now once it is 100% complete, all nice and done. So let me just show you. There you go. This is what your logo should look like once it has been completely coloured in. As I said, everything below the wave, fill in with dark blue. Everything above the wave, fill in with red wall. Very simple indeed. So once you've reached this point in the video right here, there is nothing left for me to show you. The tutorial is 100% completely finished. I hope that you guys had an easy enough time following it. Again, I'm really sorry for that little tiny mistake there. As I said, I'd usually cut it out, but it didn't really affect anything. I mean, you just had to destroy a block and replace it. It didn't affect the structure of the actual logo itself. So, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.